Okay, it's great to see everyone here, some familiar faces. Just a little bit of housekeeping just before we get beginning. If you have a mobile phone, if you could put it on silent or switch it off, that would be great. So we'll turn the mic down a little bit more. Alright, so we will be filming, but it will be just me, and we're going to be putting it on YouTube later on this week. Okay, so Winner's Edge. How did this become? Well, I've learned from very, very successful people. Just nod your head if you ever heard of Anthony Robbins. Quite a few people. Jim Rohn, Les Brown, and Brian Tracy. Some of the biggest names of the self-development group. So the reason I got to be standing up here now, this afternoon on a Sunday, is really that I was known about 10 years back as someone that would go into a job and not quite like it, and then move on after about 3 to 4 months. And I never felt that I found my passion of what I really enjoyed. And I realised to myself, am I going to continue doing this? You know, I was hitting that time where I was thinking, you know what, I can't continue. So I started doing a lot of self-education, learning from very successful people. Also with this, the principles that I'm going to be going through, which is a professional performance cycle, okay? And the elements that I'm going to be going through, I've personally done myself, and I know work, okay? Because if I could give you an example, if you was to learn to swim, you wouldn't go to the local pool and see someone that's doing doggy paddle and ask them how to learn to swim, and they give you all the lingo on how to do it. You will see someone that's going to swim like a dolphin and be all smooth, and then get advice that way. So I'm going to tell you a story. Does anyone know about a gentleman called Colonel Sanders? Anyone heard of him? Just nod your head if you have. Okay, so 1 or 2. So it's quite ironic that I'm going to be talking about this, especially the fact that we're in a health club right now. But Colonel Sanders was 65 years old, okay, and he got a check through the letterbox. And he looked at his check that he got as a social security check, and he thought, you know what, this ain't that good. And I'm 65, and I'm better than this, I'm worth more than this. So what he done was he got a pen and paper out, and he wrote down everything that he was good at. And the only thing that came up that he was good at was a chicken recipe that most people liked. Yeah? So what he done was, he thought, you know what, I've got to take action. I've got to step up. So he went across America for a long, long period of time, often sleeping in the back of his car. He got 1,009 no's before he had one success. Okay? The guy I'm talking about is KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yeah? 1,009 no's before he had one success. And that, when you see him wearing that white suit, he actually wore that as he went across America for a heck of a long time. So why do I mention that story? Just before we do, what I want to do is, we got pen and paper, and statistically, if you write things down, you're going to remember 50% more. So what we need to do is think of a goal that really excites you, something that is a little bit, you feel a little bit nervous in achieving. It could be an income that you're earning 30 grand a year at the moment, you want to go up to this time next year, 10 grand more. It could be a promotion. It could be someone that you say in a relationship, someone you want to find someone that's that you feel that love with. Anything, but it's got to be something that really pushes your comfort zone. One goal, and then write it down once you have it. It's very, very important you do that. Because this one goal is what you're going to be thinking about as I go through this process. So it'll be going into your subconscious mind. It's something that really pushes you. Once you have that, then give me a little nod, and then we'll get cracking. Cool. Go on. Good. Excellent. Go on. So the performance cycle, results, good or bad in achieving your goal. Okay? So what stops people from getting good results? This is interactive. What do you think would stop people from getting good results in the big goal that they're aiming for? Would anyone know?
Mindset.
What's that?
Mindset.
Say that again.
Mindset. Mindset.
Yeah? Mindset? Yeah? Lack of confidence? Anything else? Would you say fear? Fear is quite a big one. Fear is something that it holds a lot of people back. Anything else? Would you say time? Everyone's life is pretty busy, often time. Would you agree? So, fear would be a form of confidence. And what happens is, when we go for a goal that we've got written down at the moment, it will feel emotion inside. And we can logically break it down. We can say, you know what, fear itself is an acronym for false evidence appearing real. And we can say that to ourselves, and then we can be like, yeah, logically I can think that. And we can say, logically, the only thing to fear is fear itself. Which is true. But the only thing is, when we go out to go for our goal, we're going to feel a feeling right in our stomach. And quite often, if you're not aware of that, a lot of people will feel that feeling, and that will prevent them from taking that step forward. Now, that feeling it's important in terms of, say, I want you to visualize now that you're late at night, you're going down a dark alley. And as you're going down this dark alley you don't know about, somewhere in London, and there's some guys that look like trouble. Okay? And you have to go past them. Your heart will start beating, and you'll feel a feeling inside. So that's part of our reptilian brain that will say to us that, you know what, something bad can happen. And then it's judged, then it's fair enough. Okay? But it wouldn't judge us, and it wouldn't be no point in having that fight or flight, which is the feeling we get when we're going for something new. But a lot of people are not aware of that on a conscious level. So they have that feeling on the subconscious level, and that's what holds us back. Now, with your goal that you've got written down at the moment, back to the Colonel Sanders story, 1,009 no's. How many people would you say, how many times are you prepared to get no's or go through those challenges, say, on that goal you got written down 10 times, just put your hand up, give me a no. Yeah? Most people. 50? 100? 500? 500. Good. Because that's what it takes to achieve it. So you keep going until you achieve your goal. You might not hit the original goal, but you will get something like it. And Les Brown talks about this. He says the tragedy in life is not having a high goal and missing it, but it's having a low goal and hitting it. So think that out. Because too many people have such low goals, and by having a high goal, even if you don't miss that, it's like shooting for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. So the pure fact that you went for that goal. Actions, quality or quantity. Okay? So quantity is something, if we take the gym environment that we have at the moment, set that, that's cool. There might be a few people coming through that should be a little bit more. Alright, so actions. And Stefan, all you need to do is write down the goal that you want to achieve. The goal that's really important to you. Big goal.
Big goal.
Big goal.
That's all.
Cool. So, quantity. Quantity is what, let's take the gym environment, because I've been in it for many, many years, is that someone that's on the treadmill, holding on to the sides, reading the Sun newspaper. Okay? Didn't say which page. Alright? So, do you think after an hour and a half of them doing the workout, pulling onto the side, walking, reading the newspaper, do you think they would have got their heart rate up? Do you think they would have pushed their comfort zone? I don't think so. To someone who's doing a quality workout that will do a 20 minutes to half an hour workout, if you went and spoke to them, they couldn't even speak back to you because they're working that hard. They're puffing, they're sweating out. That's what I'm talking about, getting the actions. Because what a lot of people do is they fumble around. And Brian Tracy wrote a book, and it's called Eat That Frog First. Okay? And what he talks about in that book, very simple read, is that when you have a list of things that you need to do on that day, generally speaking, most people will try and avoid that worst thing because they feel that feeling. It's come from the reptilian brain. They feel that feeling, they're like, oh, you know, that's going to be a hole. I'll leave that one until later. And then you do all the little ones. But why feel that feeling throughout your whole day? Why not just do it? Brian Tracy talks about eat that frog first, the ugliest, the meanest. You eat that one first and do that one first. So then it clears the way and you don't have to feel that feeling. Is everyone with me? Yeah? Cool. So, also, you might find when you do something new in achieving your goal that you might have to start in quantity and then move up to quality. Okay, what do I mean by that? Let's take sales, for example. Because, believe it or not, sales is good communication, and we're selling every day of our lives. Okay, so we have a partner right now. We're to sell the fact that we would be a good partner. If your mate phones up and says, "Let's go down the pub," and you say, "No, there's a good movie out in the cinema. Let's go and watch that." You sold the fact of going to the cinema. So we're all doing it, and I like to see it as good communication. Okay, so if we take sales for example. If you're not that good to begin with, and someone's much better than you, let's say you speak to 10 people and you get one person that agrees. Okay? To someone who's mastered his craft, to speak to 3 people and have one person sign up. What you might have to do to begin with is work the numbers. So what you lack in skill, you make up in numbers. Okay? So you might have to speak to a lot more, to the point where you master your craft and then you're into quality. But as long as you're aiming for that goal to enter quality, that's fine. Yeah? Now, quality, I really see as, if you imagine in the primitive times and I wanted to make a fire and I had a microscope and I tried to catch the sun. Quality would be me moving around with that microscope, and it's not quite catching from the sun through the microscope to the fire. Okay, that's what quality is. Quantity. But quality would be me holding that microscope in that one point, holding that focus till the sun catches and then makes a fire, and that fire will be your dreams and your desires will be written down there. Is everyone with me? I use a lot of metaphors so you would understand. Now, who would agree that at the moment your lives are pretty busy? That to fit in anything else would be pretty hard. So I've seen lots of, actually I'm seeing the most nods that I've seen at all in this presentation so far. So I would agree. If you speak to everyone, everyone will say their lives are busy. And our lives are like, if you imagine marbles in a jam jar. And these marbles are filled up to the brim, to the point you can't fit in no more marbles. And if you visualize, those marbles are indicating a point of our life. So it could be a marble for our 8 hours sleep, a marble for the fact that we have to go to work, a marble for the fact that we have to eat, and so on if we've got kids.